What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Singing the Tea. I am your host, Dustin Singer Actor Lewis. Well, sometimes I sing and sometimes I spill all of the reality TV tea, but it's always going to be what you want and it's always going to be what you need. So, welcome back, y'all. We are looking at another episode. We're playing catch up here. On the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So this is going to be season 14, episode 2. So then next week we should be like just back on schedule with everything with Potomac, Married to Medicine, and then Beverly Hills. I think I'm gonna do it in that order. Potomac Falls first, then Married to Medicine, and then Beverly Hills, and then Chad. I'm just gonna do my regular thing for the rest of the week. So, happy holidays, everybody. So we are in the holiday season. Yesterday was it yesterday? Was Thanksgiving? Yes, yesterday was Thanksgiving. So yes, I hope you guys are all in the joyous spirits of the holiday season. And if you're not, it's okay. It's okay to sometimes not be okay, and we're gonna still love you anyway. So with this episode, I'm gonna be real. The Beverly Hills, it was good. It was okay. It didn't give me too much, but it was all right. Like if I have to rate the episode, I'd give it an 8. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It wasn't bad. Um, y'all, let's jump right on into it. We're gonna jump right on into it with this episode. So the episode opens up with Kyle and Dorit jumping right back into the fight. And one of the things that I want to say is I love Kyle. Honestly, I'm not the biggest Dorit fan, but I'm gonna say this because I gotta hold you. I gotta hold you to it. Kyle, you're not making sense. Like the way that you're explaining this situation, Dorit's feeling she's not wrong. Like she's not wrong, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later, like when we get later on in the episode. But Dorit's not wrong for feeling how she's feeling, and like Kyle, it kind of seems like you're lying about it. Um, And then to make that situation of like, oh well, Dorit, you made it seem like we weren't. We you picked the others. You put Kathy over me, and then Dorit saying, oh well, you said that we weren't as close. And then Dorit's like, listen, let's be real. The reason that you mad at me is because I brought up the you and Morgan situation and how we weren't as close because of that. Which there's two things. Now, Kyle, I don't know. I don't know if you were dating this woman or not. It's all alleged. It kind of seemed that way. It was kind of like implied like y'all were dating. I don't know. But when you're starting a new relationship or even sometimes starting new friendships, sometimes those dynamics of you and your old friends, it shifts. And I think that it's okay for you to just be like, hey, listen, I was just spending a lot of time with this individual. I do miss you. I do love you. I do still want to be friends with you. I think that's what Dorit was looking for. I don't think that she was coming at it to be messy. I personally don't. But hey, you can feel how you want to feel. I think that Kyle, though, does have, if you look at Kyle's relationships, Kyle has a bad job of holding herself accountable. Like it's always everybody else. But the way that she does it, it's like she says nothing until she says something. And we're going to talk about that when she talks about Mauricio later. Like the way that she's even doing that, it's like she wants everybody else to be the bad guy until it's time for her to actually speak her truth on the situation. But one thing I would give Dorit, she is not backing down, and she let it be known. You are mad at me for what I said about you and Morgan on Watch What Happens Live. But in the grand scheme of things, is it that deep? I don't really feel so. It just seems I love Beverly Hills. I think Beverly Hills is great, but I would say this argument seems so superficial. And it's like, what's really the issue here? Like, there seems to be something that we're all missing, and I really would just wish that they would just go ahead and get to the point. I'm going to say what I think it is later, but yeah. So they get into the fight. Kyle storms off, and then Dorit's left at the table. So all of them kind of leave. As far as like Kyle and Dorit, they leave. And I thought Erica was leaving, but it looks like she stayed. It was a little weird, but it was really awkward. Like both of them were getting in their cars, and then Kyle was like turning, acting like she's fixing her hair. It was just weird. But the thing I don't think I care for, I love Garcelle. Garcelle, you are going to put yourself in a very particular place, or peculiar, excuse me, place when it comes to the way that you're navigating this friend group, because we know that you're friends with Sutton. We know that you're friends with Kathy. These other women, we don't know that you're truly friends with them. And it's going to get murky with you one day because it's going to cause an issue. And I think that issue is going to rear its head in this season a little bit later. But you are going to have to just back out of it a little bit. You don't have to like Dorit, but Dorit's going through something. So not every opportunity is an opportunity to shade her. So I thought it was funny. I really did. But I think that you should just back off a little bit because it's not coming off the way that you're intending. At first, it was funny. Second, it was funny. Now it's coming off as a mean girl, and we don't really want that from you. Um, so yeah, so they leave. It was awkward, and then let me tell y'all something. We go over and we get ready to go to Bo's house. Um, Bo is everything. Bo's is everything. Boss Bo's is everything. I love it. Like just I knew a little bit about her history, just being in corporate America myself, just knowing a little bit about her history. And it's really exciting to see her transition into this space. I loved her badass workshop. I think it's really, really dope the things that she was pouring into the people and she was saying. And she brings up, her husband and her child and how her husband made his transition when her daughter was like 4. Really, really sad. It's super heartbreaking how she says she feels like they were essentially robbed of her daughter having that relationship with her father. And it was just really sad. It was really, really sad. Heavy episode. That's one thing I would say about this. It was a little heavy. Maybe that's why it wasn't as fun as they normally are, but it's okay. You still need these for good balance. But they showed her daughter. Her daughter is beautiful. And I love her daughter's name. I can't remember what it was, but I do remember really liking her daughter's name. Um, so yeah, so love it, love it, love it. I love what she was saying. Speaking about time to move on, and that can be when she was saying like her boss was like, "Hey, you just haven't done the things that you think that you're doing," or however that she put it. That is something that you can apply to any situation in life. There are moments where there's time to move on. When something is no longer feeding you or fueling you, you have to move on. You have to start another journey. Bose laid down that foundation. She built her home, and it was time for her to go and lay down the foundation somewhere else and build another home. And she's doing that here. And Bose, I want you to know you have found your home here. Over here at Singing with the T, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with you, honey, because we are loving you. You are everything. We are loving it. So Sutton and Kyle meet for lunch. So they meet for lunch, and it was just like, okay. It was weird because we know that they haven't been in the best place, which is fine. No one's gonna negate that, right? But Sutton was saying, "Hey, yeah, I got some Botox here." This was funny as hell. Sutton was like, "Yeah, I got some Botox here about a month ago. Can't you tell? See?" And Kyle was like, "Oh, that was good to me." Listen, shady, shady, shady. But Sutton, I hate to say it, baby, we don't look like you got no Botox. You need to go and get a little bit more, baby. He must have just gave you a little bit of the CCs. He should have gave you the full enchilada because you was lacking on some of that. But Sutton was giving Kyle some good advice, and they were talking about her separating from Mo, and it was like I feel Sutton with that. When it comes to a divorce and it comes to separating, like she said, men are real particular when it comes to their money. I get what you're saying that he wrote it in the book saying like, oh, I wouldn't have this without her. But that can be subjective. I can't have what without her. It could be like, oh, I wasn't able to do this because she was at home with the kids, or oh, I wasn't able to do this without her fixing my lunches every day. Like it leaves a lot of ambiguity, and I don't think that she gets that. Like, so Kyle, be smart about this because you are going through a divorce. I think everybody will want their divorces to be amicable and they want them to be roses and sunshine. It don't always work that way. You are fighting for your life when it comes to those situations. So just be prepared because I will say, from what we seen online, it look like this man out here having him a good time. It look like you at home chilling. Well, child, they say you was over there with Morgan, child, but they ain't none of my business, child. That's all alleged, child. But they said you had a little rendezvous, child, too. They said you like to sizzle. Ooh, allegedly. I don't know nothing about that, Kyle. Listen, don't come up here and take my nice things, honey. Y'all know I just got Amazon pictures. I don't got nothing else. And a fish tank full of shrimp, baby. Listen, you can't take my children. But Sutton is telling her it's time for her to move on. And if you are wanting to move on to your next situation for another relationship or whatever it is, for you to just move on for you, girl, you're going to have to start cutting ties with that a little bit. So then we transition, and it's Erica and Dorit heading over to Bose's house. Now, Bose did something that I do not care for. I hate going to somebody's house and they were like, oh, take your shoes off. You can't wear shoes in my house. That's something you let people know before they come to your house. Don't let people know that upon entry. I hate that. And I don't want to be walking around your house barefoot because my thing is I don't want my feet looking black at the bottom of my feet because you ain't mopped this floor good. And then my thing is, what if you don't got heated floors? I might catch a cold walking on this cold ass wood floor. Child, no. But I will say that Bossier House is stunning. It was a beautiful home, honey. It was beautiful. And another thing, why didn't you have the slippers by the front door? Like, what if people really weren't comfortable walking barefoot in your house? It was just so many things that I was just like, I just didn't like that. But the home is stunning. It's beautiful. But we would expect nothing less, right? It's Bose. Of course, it's going to be all that and a bag of chips because it's Bose. So with that, we get segments where they're transitioning between Bose, Erica, and Dorit having the conversation, and then we switch back to Kyle and Sutton having their conversation. And I will say this: Dorit's confused. I think that all of us are confused as to what the true issue is with why they're having beef. I think it's a couple of things. They're not saying it, but it's a couple of things. There's a power struggle, and it's people not teaching people how to treat them from the start. Let's break it down. Kyle has always been like the head girl, right? She's always been a girl in charge when it comes to her and Dorit and some of the other ladies, right? She's always been the it girl. Dorit is coming into her own, and Dorit is trying to insert herself, trying to find her voice. And Dorit is going through things personally, but when Dorit first stepped on the scene, she had to bow down a little bit to acquiesce to Kyle. The issue is that Dorit is no longer wanting to be in that little sister like set, and she wants to be her own individual. But Kyle's like, hold on, wait, who is this person? Because I can say whatever I want to say, I can do whatever I want to do, and you just fall in line, and now you're not doing that. You're challenging the powers that be. That's where the issue is. And Dorit, I gotta give you a little piece. I'm gonna be real with you. It's on you. Shame. Listen, somebody does something to you the first time, okay, shame on them. Somebody do something to you second time, shame on me. I have to teach you how to treat me. I am big on that. I teach people how to treat me, and then I'm also going to learn how you want to be treated. And we got to make sure it aligns for both of us. I'm gonna let you know that at the start. You might not like me, you might not feel like I like you, and that's okay because we're gonna come to a mutual agreement at some point in our lives, right? But I'm gonna teach you how to treat me, and you're gonna learn. I'm gonna learn how to treat you, and that's where the issue is coming in. Also, to Dorit, you have to know and understand that you are going through a lot of things silently, and you are not voicing those things out verbally, so no one is going to read your mind. I wonder what her sign is. I need to look that up. But no one is going to read your mind. We are not mind readers. Well, I am. But listen, Jean Grey. Um, but they aren't mind readers, so they can't read your mind. If you're feeling something, if you're going through these things, you and PK were going through all this, which you brought up in this conversation as well. And then Erica was like, you're going through this in silence. So you are starting to lash out, and you might not realize you're doing it, which is going to circle back to the conversation with PK. The way that you're handling situations in your head, you might be saying it a certain way, but I promise you, it's not coming off that way. And I think that that's what a large piece of y'all's issue is. Now you're not in this alone because you can start teaching people how to treat you, but what you're gonna have to do is you have to allow room for them to make that adjustment. You have to allow that room because you've allowed them to do it for so long that it no longer really falls on them, it falls on you. So you got to allow that adjustment period. Give them a 90-day ramp up, and then y'all should be good. Um, so then we transition from there, and then we Oh, one thing what Dorit was bringing up, the kids, because they were like, well, how are the kids dealing with this? And she was like, well, we were getting fights, and he'll be gone for weeks. So the kids are just like, oh, it's just another situation like that. That's really sad. Um, Fix that for them kids. Not saying that y'all have to be together, but fix y'all's relationship for your children, because your children shouldn't know any of that's going on. So next up, we had to Sutton's house. Sutton is getting some pizza kits together for her, Erica, Kathy, y'all know my girl Kathy, and they're gonna surprise Kyle at her house. Just to give her a little something and let them know, hey, we're supporting you. And the ladies show up at Sutton's house, and Sutton drops a bomb that Mauricio has changed the photo of him and Kyle in his office to him and his dancing partner from Dancing with the Stars. Now, on the surface, this is not a big deal, right? I know people are like, what really? It doesn't really matter. The issue is you and your wife are going through something. You took the picture down from you and your wife and added in you in the picture of another woman. yeah, that's gonna sting her a little bit. And I know you might not, because sometimes y'all men just don't think. They just don't. Men are stupid. They are. Um, I would know, honey, because I date them myself, but I'm not one. I'm the one. Anyway, when it comes to that situation, I don't think he was thinking it through. I think for him, it was really like, oh, I didn't want to look at you, so I updated to another picture because we separated. It might for him be that, like, just simple as that. He didn't think about it, but it is hurtful. I would be upset if I was in that situation. My thing is just remove the picture. Don't replace it with somebody else. Like, just remove it. But yeah, that wasn't. I didn't care for that. So they get ready. They go over to Kyle's house, and the Kathy is trying to do her Dark Vader delivery thing at the little phone box. And another thing that got me, she's at the phone box. Why did they let this lady open the trunk, take the pieces out the trunk, go to the phone box with the pieces, Amazon delivery, and then go put the stuff back? It was just weird. When I tell you, it was so funny to me. I don't think y'all realize how much I love Kathy. I told y'all, Kathy can't do no wrong in my book. She can't do no wrong. So I love me some Kathy. So the girls get in the house. They start having them a good time. They walk in. Oh, first of all, Kyle, what would your daughter make it in that bowl? Because baby, she took that tahini and she dumped all that tahini in there. I ain't see y'all eat that, but I was wondering what it was. What was that you make it? Kyle, if you watching this, you need to be. But if you watching this, girl, go ahead and let me know what your daughter and that was in that cooking, girl, because I love to eat. I love to eat. Let me know what she was cooking. But so they start making their pizzas and everything, having a good time. And then Kathy bought all the ladies' pajamas. It was fun. It was cute. They asked where Garcelle is at. She in Atlanta making the movies on Lifetime. The Lifetime movies on Netflix. One of them. She making for one of the two. That's all we see her on is one of the two. That's all right. She got a job. That's all that matters. They start having a conversation about Mauricio, them separating, all of that good stuff. And then, Kathy was saying, not Kathy, Kyle was saying, we got together young. We got together young. I was looking at pictures of us and we, it was sad to her. And then Kathy goes, yeah, Kyle, you look like you could be his child now. Because he's looking old. And then she started doing this. When I tell you, Kathy is so funny. Kathy is one of those people, like, you have to tell Kathy, like, Kathy, not now. Like, Kathy be the person, like, you take her to a funeral and she just start, like, making jokes and, like, roasting. Kathy, today ain't the day. Um, that's one of them situations, Kyle. Don't try to get mad at Kathy later. Kathy was just joking. Like Kathy said, I thought you would find it funny. Like she was just trying to make you laugh. Like, Kyle, like just calm down. I don't think any of the ladies were coming from a malicious place. And I think they were giving you some sound advice. Sutton, once again, coming through with some great advice. But Sutton, that divorce settlement, yes, ma'am. I know that's right. See, that's how you do it. Y'all take notes from Sutton. Sutton is that girl. You can listen, you can say a lot. Sutton is that girl. She put it on. She don't really step out like that. But when she step out, she have on clothes. The clothes be wearing her. She don't be wearing the clothes. But she's still that girl because her status at the bank, honey. Now Erica's that girl. Erica can dress. But Erica's status at the bank, lackluster. Not demure at all. Not cutesy at all, honey. She needs some milk for that bank account because it's not giving. But they gave her some great advice, letting her know, listen, girl, making sure that you get yourself prepared. And I think what they're trying to tell her is like, you might not want to file, but at this point, what are y'all wanting to do? We understand that it's not conventional. We understand that you think that your divorce is going to be amicable, but there are little things, there are nuggets that you are saying that are bothering you. So you're clearly bothered. And I think that you think that it's just going to be like, oh, he's going to give me everything I want. It might not work that way if you don't have it signed, sealed, and delivered. And that's called a prenup. All right. So that's going to be that. So after that, they leave. Kyle is delusional, in my opinion. Love Kyle down, but she's delusional when it comes to this situation. But we're gonna let you live in your lap of luxury and be delusional. So Dorit and PK they meet for a little dinner, and PK, first of all, that card, that's my favorite color. I love emerald green. Favorite color. Love green. And Dorit, you stepped out in that Gucci suit, girl. That Gucci two-piece suit was lovely. You look stunning in that. Love it, love it, love it. And I love the soft beach wave hair. Dorit, you look good. PK honestly looked good for him as well. He looked great. You can tell that he's losing some weight. PK looked good for him. Yeah, there's that. So they start having their conversation, and PK ordered a non-alcoholic beer. Have y'all had non-alcoholic beer? Y'all, it is honestly disgusting. Like, it's nasty. It's not worth it. It ain't worth the calories. Don't drink it. It's nasty. Um, never mind. I ain't gonna tell. I ain't gonna tell. Anyway, I was gonna tell somebody business, shy, but I ain't gonna tell the business. I don't want these people to get mad at me. But I was so open to tell some of y'all business. Uh huh. Uh huh. But anyway, so they start having a conversation. And at first, it started off like fine, and then I think it took a turn. Like PK was talking about, he bought clothes, he's losing weight, coming to his new PK-ness, right? And then he was like, "Yeah, new single PK." Now, if Dorit would have slapped the taste out of his mouth, she would have had every right, because that was disrespectful. My thing is with him, I don't know if PK is trying. My thing is, PK, if you are done, let that woman know you're done and let that be it. And I think Dorit, he's kind of telling you that in a way. It seems like he's done, because some of the things that he's saying, it seems hurtful. And even for I had to put my notes down because I feel like I'm teetering on how I feel about my notes. Dorit, I think you love him, but I think that sometimes when you love something, you have to let it go, and you need to let his old looking ass go, because he was playing out disrespectful when he was saying, "You saying, well, hey, we talk every day." He was like, "Yeah, that's gonna stop." And then he was like, "Well, the way we speak to each other, we spoke to the way that we'll be put out." Well, then stop. Then stop. One of you can stop. And it was getting a little like tensions there as well, because they were talking over each other. They were talking at each other instead of listening, processing, and replying with an appropriate response. They weren't thinking it through. That's the issue. I don't think. I don't think that they're in a place to keep going. I think that they for sure should separate for a while. He needs to go and find him, do his own thing, and I think that she needs to reassess and find her. I think that Dorit is unhappy, and I think that Dorit, like when she was saying like the insults and stuff started to come, I think one of those insults, Dorit went low. I think that she went low, and I think that sorry y'all, I think that PK was not expecting her to go as low as she did, and I don't think that there can come back from it. I personally don't. Um, and then like when he was telling her like, "Hey, you just were mean. You weren't. We weren't happy. We weren't good for each other." I get where he's coming from, and to read the way that y'all's reactions were there, I can see how you are having a hard time dealing with your relationship. So if you take that singular moment, right, and you apply it to how you and Kyle are, you just are going through some things. Which Dorit had the robbery, she had the bankruptcy stuff, she had the PK drinking. Dorit has had a lot of hard hitting stuff come her way, and I think that Dorit is more so done, and that's okay. It's okay for you to be done. But Dorit, do the healing on yourself first, and don't take that. Even if y'all don't separate. Don't take it back into this relationship, and don't take it into another one. But I think that you need to do some self reflecting. You got to do some work on just you, baby, because yeah, it's not looking good for you. I think that you are trying to handle things as best as you can, but you got to take some time for you. And that, y'all, is where the episode ended. Now, that is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If I had to give the top diamond of the week, y'all know I want to give it to Kathy. Y'all know I want to give it to Kathy. But I'm going to give it to Bose. I'm going to give it to Bose for letting us into her home, her beautiful home, telling us a story about her family, her children, her corporate life. Going to give it to Bose as the top diamond of the week because she is that girl. This episode was great, y'all. We are caught up on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So next week, we should be getting this one on a pretty regular schedule. So I'm going to keep us on a regular schedule when it comes to these episodes. So with that being said, comment, like, subscribe, share, friends, family, the CEO of the company. Send it to Bose. Hell, she ain't got nothing to do. Send it to all the people. But I want to say thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. And I will see y'all back here next week for another episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Potomac, Married to Medicine. We got it all cooking. Come back and we're going to have it going on. Have a good one, y'all.